The singing tradition is very interwoven into Estonian society.
We have basically children choirs in every school.
The singing revolution and the choral festival, it's a very unique experience.
Estonian folklore is very rich. It's over 1,000 years old, and singing mostly connected with communication and work, what helps to do work. And same time with some party songs and some nature songs and nature sounds what came to Estonian music. The Estonian culture was very much connected with nature. Imitation of bird sings, imitation of sunshine, beginning of days, last hours of days.
Folk singers can sing working singing, like work songs, wedding songs, funeral songs. For all situation of life, we have a parallel from singing.
LAULUPIDU is where all Estonians gather in mind, 100,000 in person, plus the 20,000 on stage, plus the remaining population of the entire country over media. And this is really the manifestation of this culture.
The first LAULUPIDU was in 1869. It became the cornerstone of the Estonian nationality after the first beat of the first song.
I think that it was very connected with political movements. The first song festival, it was like typical for this time. People came together to express national feelings, like Liedertafel, and this German culture gives big influence here.
Of course, the land was owned by the Germans, and they sort of probably thought that let's give them a bone to chew, and this will all calm down. But just completely the opposite thing happened. It really woke the nationality, the sleeping dragon, let's say.
The first song festival was in Estonian language. But music sounds very similar like in Germany. German songs with German songs, but Estonian texts in Estonian language. During Soviet time, the Soviet Union didn't want to cut this tradition because they feel that they can use with right songs this more just Hallelujah for Stalin.
And coming together is not sort of a deeply Estonian thing to do. We are very, very, I even say this, the solidarity, standing alone is more Estonian trait than coming together.
In Soviet time, it was only place where people can show something, because Estonians very introvert, like Finnish people. They don't talk very much, and they don't come to the streets with stones and make protest noisy.
By the time the Soviet Union was crumbling, the singing revolution was the point where in Estonia some of the music, some of the songs that were not permitted to be played or performed within the Soviet Union were broadcast on radio. This mobilized the people to sing, and in fact a human chain was formed throughout all the Baltic countries, and these songs that were not allowed to be sung before were then sung, breaking that camel's back, and there was no point of return. The singing tradition is the same today as it has been 100 years ago.
Our children begin very early, already in kindergarten and of course in schools.
You've sung in a boys' choir, no? You've sung all this music since you were very young.
I've been singing in choirs for 35 years now, and I'm 38. So most of my life has been choir repetition or rehearsal.
So I think that every Estonian person is singing somehow.
Somehow is singing, yes, yeah.
Even if anyone doesn't keep a tune, or it doesn't matter.
Most choirs in Estonia, and there are a lot of choirs in Estonia, sing the repertoire that is meant for these bigger singing festivals throughout the year.
2 years after the song festival, you still sing the old repertoire, and then 2 years prior you start learning the new one. So it's a cycle. My daughter first sang this last year. First experience, very, very important.
Language is part of this composition in vocal music. It's very important.
Sound is coming, of course, from language, from home language. And our home language, Estonian, I think it sounds quite dark. Not such a dark like Russian language or Bulgarian or something, but it's not light like English, for example, or if I can say like Italian.
We sound a little bit like Russian, but we also have this pure quality.
I think part of our choral sound comes actually from our composers. Singing Arvo Pärt's music, singing Veljo Tormise's music, it demands very specific things from singers. And if you do that as a choir for 40 years in a row, then you get actually very good at those specific things. Which means, for Pärt's music, long, fragile lines, perfectly in tune.
I'm very happy that I was in this kitchen where Arvo Pärt cooked many his works. I think Arvo Pärt gave us absolutely new view to church music. Not only for us, it's everywhere in the world.
We founded the Arvo Pärt Center in order to preserve the heritage and legacy of my father and his work. But at the same time, it's also a meeting place of visitors who might want to learn more about what we do, but at the same time also a meeting place for professionals and musicians, conductors, ensembles, who come together and make music together and go the path together of creativity.
It's an interesting question. Could this choir exist anywhere else in the world? People are singing Estonian music all over the world, of course. And they do it very well, but you always hear that they are not an Estonian choir. And this is partly the language and partly the kind of growing up with the music. It's more than understanding the music, it's actually living and breathing this music every day, and the way of singing that comes with it. I think it has created the sense that singing is not just singing. You don't just sing in a choir for fun. There's always some bigger picture and something more important behind coming together and singing Estonian music.